So I want to talk about filters, and there's various types of bandpass filters of various architectures, and a lot of the filters made out of lumped components like inductors, capacitors, resistors, things like that, you'll end up with a Gaussian response that looks a lot like this. So the way that I'm getting these pictures is I have a center carrier of 10 megahertz, and then I've set the span on each unit to 10 kilohertz, and I've set the resolution bandwidth to 1 kilohertz. So what this does is, even though the carrier is much narrower than this, the integrated power under the curve is displayed. And so you can look at the shape of the filter that's in the unit. So this is the shape of the filter that's in the Hewlett-Packard, and this is the shape of the filter that's in the TinySA. And you say, okay, well, what type of architecture is this? I'm not familiar with that shape. I know lots about these shapes, but I don't know a lot about that shape there. Well, this is a filter that is basically a software filter. It's an algorithm, and the mathematics of the way this filter is constructed gives you that shape. Now, if you look at the specifications for something like a spectrum analyzer, they'll give you a number. They'll give you a single number. They'll say it's 1 kilohertz of resolution bandwidth. Well, so it would say that if this is 1 kilohertz of bandwidth and that's 1 kilohertz of bandwidth, how can that possibly be true? Because they're entirely different areas under the curve. And the way that the filters are defined is the 3 dB point. What does that mean? Well, it means that you are 3 dB underneath. So if we measure the 3 dB point of this filter, it says that it's 925 hertz. It's jumping between 925 and 950 hertz. So we can do the same thing over here on this one. Let's see if I remember how to do it. We'll do measure. All right, I pushed a couple of the wrong buttons, but there's a measure minus 3 dB point. And so this thing, it says it's measuring 1.11 kilohertz. Okay, so they're about the same. They're both measuring at 1 dB below. So if you take the peak and you go down 3 dBs in value, and then you measure the width at the 3 dB down point, these are both measuring 1 kilohertz. You say these are exactly the same filter, but this one is much has much steeper sides. Now, that's a really good thing a lot of the time. I would say that this filter wins most of the time, but there are some conditions where algorithmic filters have problems. They are digitally sampled. Back in the old days, everybody complained about digital scopes having artifacts, and they got fast enough that those all went away. So now nobody really complains too much about digital oscilloscopes versus analog oscilloscopes. Well, anytime you have sampling, you have the ability to have aliasing and other problems in the mathematical algorithm. So let me demonstrate that to you here. So once again, we have a 10 megahertz carrier. We have 100 kilohertz of span on both of these units. The resolution bandwidth is set to 1 kilohertz on both. Now I'm going to turn on AM modulation, okay? And here's AM modulation. Let me start at a different value first. Okay, so what I've done here is I have a 10 megahertz carrier, I have a 10 kilohertz AM modulated signal, and I have a 100 kilohertz span, 1 kilohertz resolution bandwidth. They're both set to the exact same thing, and you can see that the shape of this filter wins, right? You get larger excursions down. They're narrower at the bottom. They're the same width at the top, but they're narrower at the bottom. So in this particular instance, this filter is winning. So that's a good thing. Let's go ahead and change the frequency of the AM modulation. Let me set it here to 4 4 kilohertz. And you can see again, this one is winning a little bit, right? Let's go down a little further. All right, so I've lowered it down to 440 hertz, right? So that's a typical A440. And you can see that we can't resolve it here because it's below the 1 kilohertz, width of the resolution bandwidth, so you expect not to see it. You can see a little bit of lumpiness, but you don't expect to see anything. But look down here is you've generated all of this noise out of band, and those are aliasing artifacts. So let me change the modulation frequency here down to 100 hertz. Let's see if I can do that here. Well, here's 210 hertz. So you can see at 210 hertz, we're getting huge amounts of aliasing in the filter, and then poof, oh, no, it pops back and forth. And so that is a function of the mathematical anti-aliasing feature of these digital filters. And so you need to be aware of that. Do people care? Yeah, a lot of people care. Do some people not care? Yeah, a lot of people don't care. But it's something you really, really need to be aware of. So if you were building a system where you were trying to transmit something and you put in, you know, a 440 tone and you saw all this weird stuff here, you say, oh, my carrier must be oscillating. I must be having some spurious harmonics in my my circuit. But it's just an artifact of these digital filters. If you saw this, you would say, "Oh yeah, everything's just fine. I just need to increase my, I just need to change my resolution bandwidth, right?" So let's see here, bandwidth. If I change my bandwidth to something very, very narrow. So I'm going to do 100 hertz. I'm going to go back to my 440. My 440 hertz tone, all right? And I'm going to see if I can't resolve that in this spectrum analyzer. Now they're both sweeping very, very slow. This one's still at 1 kilohertz. So let's go ahead and let the resolution bandwidth be the best they can be on both of them. Let's see, frequency, resolution bandwidth, 200 hertz. All right. All right, so this one is set to 200 hertz, this one's set to 100 hertz. Unfortunately, there's no way to set this to 200, and there's no way to set this to 100. So, but we need to zoom in to see anything. So we're going to set the span now to 10 kilohertz. We'll set the span over here to 10 kilohertz. You can see that we're resolving that 440 tone here. And down here, we're also trying to resolve that 440 tone here. We have 100 hertz of resolution here and 200 hertz of resolution here, so not quite the same. So what happened to all of that really, really noisy stuff? Well, it's a function of the mathematics of the algorithm. So when you zoom way in, you can show that, oh, my oscillator was operating correctly. I was just getting aliasing at those particular spectrum analyzer settings. So you need to be conscious of that when you're making these measurements. And if you see something really strange, like you're getting a lot of ringing in the out of band section, you can say, oh, that's suspicious. Let me go change the resolution bandwidth and see if it cleans itself up. So that's just a way to check